Hi, I'm Joseph Phillips. I'm the founder of Pure Management Alliance. And in this short video, I want to share with you a framework to project management that I've created over the last 20 years in my role as a project manager, a consultant, an educator, and author of several books on project management. What I've come up with is a very simple framework to project management that I call the Pure Framework. What I have is a temple of project management. Not that we're worshiping project management, but a temple shows all the different components or structures that we need for a successful project. We begin at the foundation, and that's communication. Communication's probably, or it is, the most important factor in a successful project. If we don't have good communications throughout the project, we're not going to have a good, enjoyable, successful project. 90% of your job is probably communicating. Most project managers that I meet are really good communicators. They're not afraid to talk to people and ask questions. The next step up, we have two factors that go hand in hand. We have critical thinking and emotional intelligence. Critical thinking is the logic, the math, the reasoning that we need in project management to make good decisions. Emotional intelligence are the quadrants about my self emotions, the ability to understand my emotions and to control my emotions. And then we have the outward, the emotions of others and how I can understand and influence the emotions of others, to understand and have empathy. So critical thinking and emotional intelligence are both needed to be a successful project manager. Then the next layer up, we have leadership, the ability to align, to motivate, to get people excited about the project and the project work and to do a good job with the assignments they have in the project. Then we have the four pillars of project management, that these are paramount in every project you take on. That we have time, cost, risk, and our team. Time and cost go together because time is money, but you have to have a schedule and to do duration estimating and to predict when things will happen in your project, but also to track that and to monitor that to know when things actually happen. So there are lots of things to cover in time. Cost, we think about how much the project will cost. So we have cost aggregation, cost budgeting, cost estimating, and cost control. Lots of things to do in cost. Risk, we're talking about positive and negative risk, that it may or may not happen, and if it happens, what effect will this have on our project? And then our final column is our team. Team members have the greatest influence on the project work. They're the people closest to the work. They're often considered the subject matter experts that we rely on to do planning in time, cost, and risk. And they are key stakeholders in a project. What these four columns are supporting are scope and quality. Scope is everything that we must do for the project to be considered complete. Scope defines what we will do, but it often defines what we won't do. It sets some boundaries for what's considered out of scope. Scope is the things that we create, the features and functions, the services, the ultimate desired future state that our project will bring about. Now, in tandem with scope, we have quality. Quality is that conformance to requirements that we see in scope. Quality is the ability to create those products and services that are fit for use. Scope and quality go hand in hand. If we don't have an accurate scope statement, it's very hard to create something of quality. So we have to know what we are aiming to create, what are the metrics that define success, and then that allows us to identify the quality assurance and then to measure quality control that quality actually exists, that we are conforming to quality, that we're conforming to requirements. And then at the pinnacle of this temple, the whole reason why we do a project is business value. Business value ultimately comes down to one of two things: that we are increasing revenue, we want to be more profitable or to create more revenue for the organization, or we are reducing costs, that we want to be leaner and more financially responsible with the monies we have. So you're going to cut costs or increase revenue. That's business value. It's the reason why we're doing a project. Everything in the project, everything in this temple must all support business value. If we take any one of these components and we don't do an effective job in any of these components, this temple, the structure, will fall. We won't achieve business value. So all of these work together, the solid foundation, some strong pillars to get to and support business value. Business value is why we're doing the project. In the Pure Project Manager Credentialing Program, we will cover all of these facets of the Pure framework and how do these work in a real world, a realistic environment. So this is not about theory and fluff. This is how do we actually do this and achieve this to get to business value, that desired future state, why we're doing the project in a real world environment. Come over to puremanagementalliance.com, take the free 1-hour course where we'll talk all about the Pure framework and how to achieve the Pure credential. No obligation, sign up for free, 1 PDU, and you'll learn all about Pure. What does it take to become a Pure project manager? I hope to see you there, and I'll see you in the program.